Hello, this is Jennifer Pollard, and this is my Module 3 Leadership Style and Ethics presentation. Through the readings for the week and online, I've learned that I have a democratic leadership style, also known as participative leadership, derived from the word democracy, which means run by the people. Characteristics of a democratic leadership is they encourage creativity and collaboration, regularly ask for feedback, maintain a team player attitude, keep flexibility at the forefront, place high importance on transparency and communication. Democratic leaders always reach out to their staff or students to get their input and collaboration before decision making on their own. They also communicate transparently with staff and students on the decisions that are made and the ones that need to be made. This helps create a team player, and this helps the staff and students in the school know that everyone is there to support each other. My leadership characteristics: transparency and communication. My staff knows that I will share and communicate important information to them in a timely manner. Collaboration, I create opportunities for staff to collaborate, brainstorm, and I always get their input before making a final decision. Flexibility, allowing staff to do their work in their way. They prefer to do it as a team or individually. This helps to build trust between my staff and myself, and them knowing that I believe they can do it to get the work done. Code of ethics. The educator recognizes the magnitude of the responsibility inherent in the teaching process. The desire for the respect and confidence of one's colleagues, of students, and parents, and of the members of the community provides the incentive to attain and maintain the highest possible degree of ethical conduct. I liked that in ethics in education, it said that ethics in education are important because they assist to run the system smoothly. I believe that all educators have questions about what they're doing and why they are doing it without really thinking of the ethics behind it. But I presume the positive, and that all educators have high code of ethics. The 4 principles of ethics in education are honesty, confidential, conflict of interest, and responsibility. I think that confidentiality can be difficult sometimes when you've had a rough day or you're struggling with a student. Sometimes we think emotionally before we do professionally, so to be aware of that is important. I also think that conflict of interest can be difficult, especially if you're teaching in a small community or in your neighborhood school. Sometimes your neighbors are your students, and you have to remember to be ethical when conducting yourself outside of the classroom or school environment. The professional norms. Norms are shared agreements about how a group will work together. I think of professional norms as a circle or a cycle. Setting and clarifying the norms, I think, is really important whenever you're establishing a new group or a new team. Meeting wise norms, making sure that everyone in the team or in the room understands the norms. Upholding the norms, reflecting and revisiting them before each meeting, and keeping the norms alive, reminding each other throughout the meeting if a norm is broken, or to continue to make the norms up front when collaborating together. For the correlation, studying the reading materials to strengthen my prior knowledge of leadership and ethics. So even though I feel I have a high ethics, it's good to read about it and remind myself of things that I may forget. Utilizing a new presentation platform to show my knowledge of the coursework. And trust me, this presentation was difficult for me. Understanding my leadership style will help me to be aware of how I can support staff and student success. And then maintaining an ethical environment will also foster success in our school buildings. The relevancy in completing this assignment is that I learned I often ask myself if I'm doing the right thing, or if this lesson is important, or if my response was appropriate. And a lot of this is just the natural process of being an educator, but it also supports being ethical. I believe that being a team player and including all staff on decisions affecting the school is important and helps me to maintain my leadership style. I know a weakness I have is utilizing all platforms of technology, and this class is helping me to strengthen that. When I reflect on addressing my weaknesses, obviously utilizing technology, I will seek out support and guidance from the technology coach at my school. To enhance my strengths by communicating my personal belief that staff and students are an important part of decision making. By saying that and acknowledging that, I often might create scenarios for my staff that they may not realize I'm doing this because I truly want their input. It's how I make sound decisions for everyone. And confiding in a trusted peer, a leader in another school, or even a different district. When I was a classroom teacher and then became a counselor and then became in the liaison position I am in now, I've worked with peers in all three areas. And I found that now that I have a more administrative role, our relationships have changed, and I need to be very mindful of conversations that I'm having with them. So I do seek out support and ideas from a peer or leader that I found to be very helpful, that works at a completely different school in a completely different district, that helps me to maintain privacy, confidentiality, and all those things. And here is a list of my resources. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.